about and asking themselves such, basic issues. When you have all these challenges, what are you doing about them? And even as we were saying before, whether you're in government or opposition, because government has the priority to help offer solutions to what you have just described. But that does not mean that the opposition cannot also contribute positively to some of those solutions.
Okay.
And then even if one wants to get credit, after the thing is done, each of those two sides can say, this was my contribution towards, the solution of these problems. Because you have just described a situation where we are stuck. And what leadership does is to kind of multiply, those issues so that we are in a permanent, situation of confusion, because we are being moved from one crisis to another. And that's like some way of managing the people. And unfortunately, if a lot of the citizens, and we talked about civic education, were able to ask these questions, and that is why from 2023, 2024, 25, 26, the young people are asking those questions, are saying, there is this constitution, it is supposed to be very progressive, it's not being implemented. And if it was, a lot of the solutions would even come from such implementation. This endemic corruption, this, political ethnicity, this unemployment, this... one therefore asks, if you cannot deal with those small issues, not small, they may not be small, like health.
Yeah.
A lot of the money for health is supposed to be a county function. A lot of the money is left at the national level.
Right.
At is it Mafia House? Sometimes they call it Mafia House and so on. A lot of money is left there. So if a lot of money is left there and you are telling these poor governors, deliver health, how will they do that? If we begin SHA, it is infected, it's sick with corruption. If we do those kinds of things. So a time is reached. My colleague talked about every good story must come to an end, so that if you have been there, from the 90s, even 80s, you were in politics. When do you realize that, if you haven't grown other people so that they can succeed you, therefore it means that you have not even been doing good enough, political work. And you don't hear a lot of that. Actually, we must give credit to the late Raila, Odinga, because like now, people that he grouped, some of them are in broad-based, supporting the president. Others are in Linda Mwananchi. So at least you can say there was some grooming.
Diversity of talent.
He was trying to do. So in all those aspects, if people were sitting together and saying our country is facing a major issue, therefore we must think together. This is not just government and opposition. This is, and let's ask these young people, what solutions do you have? Let's ask other sectors, what are the solutions? And therefore, we can sit pretty and wait for 2027. People do not agree about who has won. And again, we have 2007. And for me, when I sleep and wake up, I'm just thinking about, if we are not careful, 2027 will be another, dangerous point like 2007, 8. If we continue, I'm right, nobody's wrong, people don't come together. And I don't know whether citizens, and particularly the young people, should reach a point where they tell these leaders, now we want a conversation. We want to call you, so that you can tell us, what do you have in store for us? We are young, we have more years in this country, so that they force, quote, conversations. It's not just to wait for a presidential presidential conversation, and even some of the people say, I don't want to get into this conversation and so on. So everybody goes on, so that actually we begin to ask, is national dialogue possible? And who can convene, and what form it will take? Because if we don't kind of do that, we could have a dangerous moment going forward. And if, again, we don't really listen to people to know what they're about, we will just have people coming into power who are not that different from those who are in power.
Lenga, would you reckon, because